Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Stylist Meets Vinyl. My name is Chris. All right, I've still got some vinyl finds to show you guys before we hit the end of the year. We're getting down to the wire now. Christmas is over, so I've received all of the records that I am going to receive for 2025. One just arrived in the mail a few days ago, and so I need to get these out before I do my year-end wrap-up and the vinyl tag and all that. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. First record is Wakeman, Journey to the Center of the Earth. This is from 1974. It is a live album. It is based on the book of the same name by Jules Verne. My friend Terry gave this to me, and he gave me a handful of other records, which I will show you here. I received a lot of free records this year. Actually, 75% of the records that I got this year were free. So I was very lucky in that regard. Terry thought I would enjoy this, and I do enjoy this. Rick Wakeman, of course, from Yes. As I mentioned, this was recorded live with the London Symphony Orchestra and the English Chamber Choir. This is really interesting. It's kind of a sister album to this one here, War of the Worlds, which I got last year, which I've already shown on my channel, and so it's a nice little companion piece to that one, so I quite enjoyed that. Terry also gave me For The Tillerman by Cat Stevens. I already had a copy of this one, but this is a better copy, so this will be an upgrade copy for me. He also gave me Steve Miller Band. This is Book of Dreams. Steve Miller Band's my first album by him. This has got Jet Airliner, which I really enjoy from him, Springtown, Jungle Love, and you know, Steve, I want to get some of that early Steve Miller stuff, the late 60s Steve Miller that is kind of psychedelic. This is his more mainstream stuff that he got into a little bit later in his career, but there's still a little bit of psychedelic influence on this. There's some kind of weird trippy parts, so I do enjoy this one. I also received from Terry for free, this is Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. This is from, I think, 1976, and is the first Alice Cooper album after the band broke up and Alice Cooper just became his own guy and started releasing music. This one is interesting. It is a concept album. It is all about the nightmares of a boy named Steven. This one plays more like a Broadway show, like a live stage show, than it does an album. It's very theatrical, and if you've ever seen Alice Cooper in concert, you'll know what I mean. Like you'll understand. And actually, there was a concert film, there was a tour, there was a stage tour that also accompanied this album. It's a really interesting album, actually. Some really good songs on here. There is a narrated bit by Vincent Price, which I always enjoy hearing Vincent Price on records. Welcome to My Nightmare. The Black Widow is a really great song on here. There's a song called Only Women Bleed, which is about a woman in an abusive relationship. And then there's some more theatrical stuff towards the end of like Steven waking up from his dream and just being unable to get out of this nightmare. So this is a really nice addition to the collection. Terry also gave me this, which is the Monks Suspended Animation. So I actually learned after I got this album, I didn't really know about the Monks at all. This is like a new wave or pop punk album. This is from 1981, I believe, and this was released exclusively in Canada. And the Monks actually were two former members of the Strawbs, which were a progressive rock band from the 1970s and maybe even the 60s. And so it's really interesting when you hear that connection between the Strawbs and these guys. It doesn't sound anything similar to that. And I actually heard that once word got out that these were like former members of the Strawbs, people kind of shunned this album as like, oh, it's not really punk because like these guys aren't actual punk rockers. So take it for what it is. This is an interesting album. It's a fun album. There is a song on here. I like the title track, Suspended Animation. There is a song on here that's called I Can Do Anything You Like, which has the lead singer like impersonating like an Indian person or a Pakistani person, and they end up at the end is like they're just repeating like papadum 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 over and over again. So very interesting. Maybe not something you'd be able to get away with nowadays, but interesting nonetheless. And then the last album that Terry gave me was Stephen Forbert. Yeah, Steve Forbert. This is Jackrabbit Slim. I had never heard of Steve Forbert before. I didn't know what to expect. This is a softer rock, like acoustic-y slash maybe a little bit folk as well, and a really nice, easy listening type album. There's some harmonica on here, which is pretty nice, and yeah, a decent, easy listening type of album. Then I went to a record show. This was way back in the summer. These are some really old vinyl finds that I'm showing you, but I went to a record show, and the same friend Terry was there selling some records, and so I wanted to go out and support him and grab some records from his booth. And also I picked up a couple others. So from Terry, I managed to grab Roy Buchanan's self-titled. This is his debut album. I've got his second, third, and fourth already, and I just kind of needed to find this one. This one's in really good shape, really good condition. It's on the Polydor label, as most of Roy's stuff is, and very similar to his other stuff, like rootsy, bluesy stuff with a bit of vocals, a little bit of instrumentals as well. Nothing too crazy as far as like guitar shredding, but it is a nice blues album. And I've seen this album around, and it's always been very expensive, and I bought this for a really good price from Terry, so I was happy to grab that one. I also managed to pick up at the record show James Gang Rides Again. This is an upgrade copy for me. I already had one. I found one for like 50 cents at a garage or at a thrift shop, and it really wasn't in very good condition. And I got this one for just a couple bucks. To be honest, it's not in that much better condition than the other one I had. So it's sort of like I still need an upgrade copy from this one, but I think this was like $2 that I bought for. So it's in probably like VG condition. My other one was maybe like good plus. And I also grabbed from the record show Donovan's Greatest Hits. I'm not a massive Donovan fan, but you know what? There's some good hits on his Greatest Hits, including Hurdy Gurdy Man and Season of the Witch. Those are my two favorites by Donovan. And so I figured, you know what? Like maybe just pick up a Greatest Hits by him might be nice. To be honest, this one isn't in that great condition. I bought this from another booth at the show, and it was just a few bucks, but it's not in the best condition. It's a little bit loud, a little too loud for my liking, so I might end up, I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens to this one, but for now, it's in the collection. And then this next find goes way back, and I bought this from a thrift store a year or two ago, and I had it just kind of off to the side. It was way too dirty to play. I wanted to clean it up, and I did clean it up, and I thought, like, I had kind of forgotten about it, and I thought that it was going to sound really bad. It actually doesn't sound too bad at all. This is the Isaac Hayes Movement from Isaac Hayes. This is, I think, his second album from 1970. Yeah, 70 or 71. This is very similar to, so I've got Hot Buttered Soul already. This is similar to that one where it's only 4 songs. There are 2 songs on each side, some pretty long tracks. Of course, Isaac Hayes in his spectacular drab that he usually wears on his album covers. And not a bad soul album, also not in the greatest of condition, so I might end up getting an upgrade, but for now, for $1, that's pretty good. Then next, I went to my favorite record store, which I've spoken about a few times on this channel. It's Curry's Music and Antiques in Gravenhurst, Ontario, Canada, and I picked up this album. So this is Fraction Moonblood. This is the picture disc. And if you watch like a lot of channels that show Psych or like, you know, Noble Records, they talk a lot about this album. And I had my eye on it and I saw it, and this is my very first picture disc that I've ever received. It sounds like, so I'd always kind of avoided picture discs because I'd heard they don't sound that great. This one's got, you know, that kind of a bit of surface noise to it, but it looks great. Like, it really looks cool. Really cool one to add. The only problem is there's no label. There's no way of discerning like which side is front and which side is back, and so you literally have to look at like it. Each side is absolutely identical, so you have to look at the grooves and try and figure out where track 1 is based on the track length. So you just have to look at the grooves. And then the other thing about this album that's interesting is it's, hold on, I'll put this away. It's the inner cover is just the black like this. And so when I put it up on my shelf back here and I'm playing the disc, it's just this plain black album. So a little bit anticlimactic in that regard. And also the other weird thing about this album is that they rearranged the track order on this album, which I'm not pleased about, because so the original album has like 5 songs on it. This contains 3 extra tracks. And so in order to fit those 3 tracks at the end of side 2, they had to take like the 5th track and move it to side 1. And then they took a track from side 1 and brought it down to side 2 so that they made room. So it's not in the original playing order, which really bothers me. I will say this album is fantastic. I really enjoy it. And I think the hype, if you like heavy Psych, this is a mix between like The Doors and Black Sabbath. And it's heavy Psych. However, I'm disappointed with the track listing that's been shuffled. And I'm also disappointed with the bonus tracks. They're really not very good. They sound very different from the actual songs that made it onto this album. And so this one's interesting. I think if I can find one of the reissues of the actual normal album, I would get that and maybe swap it out for this one. But for now, I'm happy to have that one. I do really enjoy it. And while I was at that store, I also saw this album here. This is Goldenrod from the band Goldenrod. This is, I believe, 1969 album. It's the only album that these guys ever released. They used to play with the Fifth Dimension. They found that they were very compatible, and they released this one album. So I saw this. It just kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I asked the guy at the desk what he thought of it, and he said, he's like, I adore this album. He goes, I play this album like once a month. Every time I play it over the speakers, somebody wants to buy it. They ask me about it. And so it is, the back here says, if this group has one guiding principle, it would be improvisation. Each selection on the album was picked because its theme and structure allowed extended jamming. So that kind of, piqued my interest. It made me interested in buying this album. There's no vocals on here. It's all instrumental. It is very trippy. And if I'm being honest, I think because the guy spoke so highly of it, my expectations were really high, and I don't know if it quite met my expectations. It's still very good. It might be more of an acquired taste. I need to listen to it a few more times to really be able to judge it. But I think just he really hyped it up, and I don't know. I thought it would be amazing. It's good, but it's just not quite there for me yet. So the jury's still out. I think I have to give it a few more listens as well. But an interesting addition to the Psych selection or section anyway. And then while I was at the counter checking out, I just happened to check in the New Arrivals band, and I saw this album. This is Matt May's debut album, this self-titled solo album from, I believe this is around 2004. And Matt May's, I've got a bunch of his albums already. I've been looking for this one, and I happened to find it. It was a good price. It also comes with a bonus 7-inch 45. This is Matt May's is like a Canadian East Coast rocker, but this album is a lot more folky than his later stuff. Still some really great tracks on here. Downtown, Full July Moon, Lonely Highway Night, City of Lakes is really, really great on here. I've seen Matt May's live plenty of times. I really enjoy him, and so I was really happy to find this one and add this to the collection. And then the last album that I'm going to show you is one that just arrived in the mail just in time for 2025 vinyl finds. This is Nuclear Watermelon by the Miracle Seeds. This is an album that was released this year in 2025 in July. I discovered these guys just from streaming, and I really enjoyed what I heard. So Jack McAfee is the singer-songwriter. He's essentially the entire band. He plays almost every instrument on this album except for the drums and the percussion. He writes every song. This is like neo-psychedelic album. It is very guitar driven, a lot of good guitar licks, a lot of like trippy psychedelic sounds on here. There's about 9 tracks on here, and really well done. I really enjoyed it. The band used to be called the Tibetan Miracle Seeds. Now they seem to be just going by the Miracle Seeds. I'm not sure why the name changed, but I ordered this online after I heard it because I wanted to support the artist, and I'm really happy that I did. I'm really enjoying this album, and it was a really nice discovery for this year. So that is it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, first of all, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, consider liking this video. Consider subscribing to the channel for more content. And whatever you do, guys, make sure you come right back here where Stylus meets vinyl. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.